All right, apparently Obama has made it. He's president. Wow, just watching it now on TV. It's just crazy, you know, how people are all excited about that. It almost reminds me of like when the Beatles were performing somewhere. Young girls, you know, almost fainting, and it's like we have all this projection of our leaders, and we put so much faith in our leaders that, yeah, I don't know how much this is warranted in terms of those leaders, those politicians, whoever they might be, being able to give us the change we are looking for. Because it's ultimately, I mean, they are representing the system which we all serve. And so, well, you know, it should be interesting to see, you know, how things will be different, if they will be different because of that, the turnout in the elections. But interesting also that we consider this to be our freedom, you know, to be able to vote between two parties. And I always considered that freedom is something that goes much deeper, that has to do with the freedom to think. And it's also not about the freedom of speech, or the right of free speech. I mean, what about the freedom of thought, the ability to think, and to be aware, and to communicate, and to learn? I mean, these freedoms I believe we have lost, because, yeah, you know, we're so much focused on the external freedom. I'll show you a couple of images here, which I think that, my goodness, you know, yeah, Obama, he's our leader, and we're just projecting so much of our hope onto these people, these leaders, which has been happening throughout human history. But many times, most of the time actually, those hopes have been disappointed, because then leaders have been corrupted as they became part of the system. And those who speak up for truth, for example like JFK, have been silenced, and Martin Luther King, and many others, Gandhi. So it's a scary thought, the idea of I mean, mind control is something I've been watching this series on YouTube called The Visitors, and I talk a lot about mind control and the New World Order and the Illuminati, and even though I don't agree with many of these things, it is actually very, very apparent that we are part of this matrix, which is all about production and consumption, and we need to do what is expected of us in order to serve the system. And so individual thought, critical thought is something discouraged, which is why as soon as we become part of this world, as spiritual beings, we are mind controlled. We are conditioned to believe that it's all about the physical, it's all about achievement, production and consumption. And so we lose our sense of wonder, our sense of imagination, spontaneity, and as we become part of the rat race of life. And then we are told as yeah, do a good job, be a good producer, be good in school, make good grades, there's a reward. You get a good job, you can buy yourself nice things, and you feel all powerful about yourself. But in terms of on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, we're all impoverished, and we're all poor, because we project outwardly, and we rely on leaders like now Obama to make things better for us, because we don't really know how to change. As a matter of fact, we don't want to change, because we have, as we grow up and we go through the system, we develop a certain personality, and that's it then. As soon as we take on this personality, this identity, a certain belief system and philosophy of life, and outlook of life, we don't really change. Because then we compare everything outside of us to ourselves. So we look at the world not as it is, but as we are. And that's where, yeah, perception is reality to us. What we perceive is real. But what about perception beyond reality? And how can we learn to perceive each other more clearly? How can we learn to perceive the truth? These are just some of the questions I like to address here in this program, in this channel. With Realize to Actualize, which is a matter of realizing our higher essence, realizing our truth, realizing ourselves in order to actualize ourselves based upon that awareness. And once we realize this self, our individuality, our true identity, we know that we share this with all. Even though we carry a unique individuality, we're very, unique, different, special, we all are, but we're also all very much alike. We're actually more alike than we are different. It's just something that we haven't learned because we are in this world chasing after the dream, chasing after freedom, chasing after happiness, chasing after love, which ultimately is the way. So I hope we all can learn to remember that it's a matter of really getting in touch with that, of going beyond the mind control, going beyond the conditioning in order to realize who we really are on a deep spiritual, emotional, mental and intellectual level. That we are infinitely creative and loving beings. We are all spiritual beings, created in the image of God. We are all co-creators in life. I really believe that it's time for us to come together, to unite. And that's the only way really we can make this world a better place. Not by relying on leaders outside of us and projecting our powers onto those leaders or on God. Which, I mean, God gave us the powers to create. So it is up to us, it is our responsibility to take care of what needs to be done, to take care of the problems we ourselves have created. And as Einstein said, we cannot be at the same level we were at when we created those problems. We need to change our paradigms. We need to, first of all, become aware of our paradigms, aware of our philosophy, of our views, of our values, which we have learned. We all have learned those. And our system has taught us those values. We have taken on the values of our system. But again, it is time to really come up or to figure out how we can create a system that can evolve from within as a result of human collaboration and synergy. A whole new world. Just think about a whole new world, a whole new beginning. How are we going to do this? What kind of society do we have? What kind of social structure? What kind of economic structure? Do we still need money? Just imagine a world without money. Imagine a world where people live together in peace and harmony. In order for that to happen, what kind of world do we need to have? What kind of system? It's a very different kind of system. With a whole new set of paradigms, a whole new set of values, where we value life, human life, more than things, more than money. It's sad to say, throughout human history it hasn't been the case. It is about change, and it is time to change. And change is a good thing. And it is a matter of coming together to figure out how we're going to do that. It's about us people. It's not about the politicians. It's not about our government leaders. It's not about authority outside of us. It's about finding and getting in touch with our own authority and acting in accordance to that authority. And finding our own voice and learning to use that voice. And then we can learn to really communicate with others and really come together and embrace each other and synergize and collaborate instead of competing with each other over who's right and who's wrong and who has more stuff. These are all of the old paradigms, and I think we need to not only examine those, we need to move beyond those and replace those with a more effective, a more productive, a more human way of thinking, living life. Let's really take some time to think about that, and I would love to talk to you about that further. Thank you.